Okay, so we've got Mixxx open. I'm first going to open a song, put it in deck 1 for now. There it is. And then we need to make sure, first of all, that we go to the preferences, go down to vinyl control, and then on the right you're going to see your options. In this case I'm just going to mess with deck 1. I'm plugged into the line input, the only one on my sound card, but as you can see I've got quite a few choices here, and this has to do with everything in the mixer. Since I've only got one, I can choose just this first option, but I've also found that default also works for the first line input that you have. So let's try default first, and the channel in this case, even though there's a whole ton of them, it's just the first two that I have available, 1 and 2. This turntable input preamp is if you're using a phono output without a preamp, hardware preamp, whether it's through a mixer or if your turntable output's line level, you'll want this off. If you're going straight in from the turntable, from the needle, then you're going to want to bring this up. Exactly how high depends completely on your particular record. So in my case now, the next thing to do here is change the vinyl type. I am using Serato CD, so I'm going to choose that and lead in, as we don't have to worry about that right now for testing. I'm going to leave this in absolute mode because it's an easy way to test. And these signal quality graphs, I don't think they do anything just yet, but they should eventually show us signal quality. For now, if we have a problem, we're going to use Xwax to show it because it already has a scope. So now I've got the stuff set. I'm going to click OK. Got to go up to enable vinyl control, and then it should just work. So let's play. And it's not working. Let's zoom up and see if anything's happening. All right, it looks like it's moved a little bit. Let's check again. Preferences, vinyl control. Okay, maybe the default's the wrong setting, so I'm going to choose the first one. It's just hardware 00 in my case. This is going to look totally different on your system because this is sound card dependent. So I'm just going to choose the first one. Again, we know it's not going to be either of the mic choices because those are mono inputs and I'm not plugged into those. In this case, I believe ADC is some sort of internal software thing, so it's most likely going to be this one. Let's choose that. Hit OK. Make sure vinyl control is still enabled. And let's try playing. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but it actually moved a little. Come on, camera focus. Okay, it's moving a little bit. All I'm doing is moving the record like this. So as you can hear, it's not quite working the way we expect. What's the most likely cause here? Now the fact is, first of all, we know that it's working, that it's getting the sound because it is reacting, but obviously something's wrong. What's most likely wrong actually in this case is that either the signal coming in is too high or it's too low. Now the best way to tell is to use some sort of scope program. Unfortunately, Mixxx is not yet equipped with this, so we're going to use Xwax. Okay, we're in the Xwax directory. I've already checked out the command I need, but I'll explain it to you. So here it is. I'm going to run the Xwax executable. -T means the type. In this case, I've got Serato CD. -L is the directory you're going to load your music from. So in this case, it's this whole long path. And then the -A is the ALSA hardware that you're going to load, the sound card basically. We've found out from Mixxx already that it's going to be hardware HW:0, so that's what I entered here. Hit enter, starts, pick a song, just hit F1 to load it, and then we see the waveform. This up here, this is the scope display. This is what we're interested in. So let's start playing the record and see what happens. Okay. It's obviously ripping through the track way faster than it should be, because the record's just playing at a normal speed, as you can see. And if we look at the rotation, it's obviously spinning faster than the record really is. But look at the scope. There should be circles in here, and as you can see, they are clipped. If you look at the corners of the display, that's where the circle is. It's actually chopped off the edge. So Xwax can't see the whole circle. That's the problem. So it's too loud. Now, right now, I've got the deck directly connected into the computer through its line output port. So I have no way of gaining this down here. So let's check first to see if gaining it down on the sound card is going to make a difference. So let's go to the mixer. and we're using aux. I have it way up here at 27, so let's bring this down and see if that makes a difference. 2. Go back to Xwax and play. Hasn't made a bit of a difference, unfortunately. So I think that means that the turntable is just putting out too hot of a signal. So what I'm going to need to do is actually hook it through a mixer or some other kind of way to gain down the signal. But just for your reference, if your problem is that it's actually too quiet, this is what you'll see. You see a little teeny dot right there in the center of the crosshairs? That means the signal is too quiet. As you can see, if I start playing mine again, that teeny dot goes away. And it's so we know it's actually too loud if you don't see the dot. And I know it for sure because I can see the circle clipped off the edge. So this turntable is too hot and I'm going to have to hook it through a mixer. So let's do that. So now I've got the line output from the CD player going into a line input on the mixer. And then I have I'm just using the booth monitor for this purpose, out from the mixer, going into the computer. So for this purpose, all we need to do is send channel 3, which is where I plugged it in, out to the booth monitor. So the first thing we got to do is make sure channel 3 is online, which it is. And this is the trim control, which I know is not going to need to be that high. I'll just set it here for now. Actually, let me start the deck playing. Turn it on first. Meanwhile, let's bring down the channel faders for everything else. Turn off the crossfader, so the only thing coming out is channel 3. Bring that all the way up. The master doesn't matter because we're just using the booth monitor switch. Okay, so let's start the signal going. Let's look at it here, ignoring what Xwax is doing. And just for the sake of the mixer, I like to get it right to 0. Not any higher, but just to 0. And now here's where we tweak the booth monitor. So let's see what Xwax is doing while we mix. Okay, you can see there now I've got a circle. It's still playing too fast, but let's fix the sound first. Okay, if I go too far down, the circle disappears, it's just a dot. If I bring it up, it comes up. What we want is to get as close to full without clipping. That's clipping. Right about there. That's perfect. That's what it should look like. Now the question is, why the hell is Xwax going so nuts? Let's stop the deck first. And actually, I think the problem is it doesn't like also for some reason. I noticed this was happening to me before. So now that I've got the signal set right in at least with the circles, that's what I was mainly using Xwax for. Let's now try it in Mixxx and see if it works. Okay, so we've started Mixxx again. Let's first make sure that vinyl control is enabled, and it is. So let's try and load a song. It's hard to double click with my left hand. Okay, and start the deck. Alright, it's moving, but it's moving real slow, so something's not right. Even though we've got it right in Xwax, Mixxx actually seems to amplify it even a little more. So let's try and bring it down. Start the deck and bring this down. There we go. Right about there should work. Still a little jumpy. Okay, so now we should be good. Let's load a scratch track so you can see. Take this back to the previous cue point, start at the beginning.